Please note this point. Every differentiable function is continuous, but a continuous function need not be differentiable. So what does it mean? If a function is continuous, right? Continuous means like this. Okay, so I'll just talk about the informal definition. So according to the informal definition, what did we see about continuity? There should be no jumps, right? As well as there should be no cuts, which means the holes, right? Now what about differentiability? Differentiability says that there should be no jumps and no cuts. No cuts means no holes, as well as the curve should be smooth, isn't it? Now if you observe it, if a function happens to be differentiable, then already there are no jumps and no cuts. Now what can you say? It means that it is continuous, right? But if a function happens to be continuous, then we know that there are no jumps and no cuts, but then we don't know whether it is smooth or not. Therefore every continuous function need not be differentiable, but if it is known that it is differentiable, it will definitely be continuous, right? Now if you want to see it in this Venn diagram form, then you can see it this way. If a function is differentiable, then it is both continuous as well as differentiable, which means if you think that this is the set of all differentiable functions and this is the set of all continuous functions, if a function falls here, which means if a function happens to be differentiable, then definitely it is going to be continuous. Now if a function falls here, it means that there is a function, I mean to say that there are some functions which will fall here, which means there are some functions which will be continuous but not differentiable. Now let's see one such example. So if you want to see any such example, if you have a graph like this for f of x, then continuous, it is definitely continuous because there are no cuts, there are no holes, but it is not differentiable because at this point, at this corner point, you cannot have a unique tangent, therefore the slope of the tangent is not going to be unique, right? So now if you look at this example, it is exactly that way. If you see f of x is going to be this way, right? So at this point definitely it will not be differentiable. It is definitely continuous but not differentiable. Now how to find it out? Find out the left derivative, find out the right derivative, and then see if they are equal or not. So according to the definition, what is the left derivative? Limit h tends to 0, f of 0 minus h minus f of 0 divided by minus h. Now 0 minus h is there, so which is nothing but minus h. So in place of mod x, I am going to substitute mod minus x minus h minus 0 divided by minus h. So we know that since h is a small number which is positive, minus h is going to be negative. Therefore, in order to convert it back to positive, we are going to have h here. So it is going to be h by minus h, which means minus 1. See, only thing about mod x that you should be remembering is, once you remove mod x, whatever result you get, that should be a positive number, right? And since h is a positive number, see, h is a small difference that we are seeing, right? That we are taking in all the cases, right? So h is always positive. Wherever we use h in these limits, h is always positive, right? Whenever we say limit h tends to 0. Now since h is positive, minus h is going to be negative. Now after applying the mod, output should be positive. That is why it is h by minus h, which is minus 1. Now the right hand limit is limit h tends to 0, f of 0 plus h minus f of 0 by h. Now it is going to be limit h tends to 0 mod h divided by h. Since h is positive, even if you remove this mod, you are going to get h only, right? H by h equal to 1. So if you observe it, left side derivative is going to be minus 1 and right side derivative is going to be plus 1. So both are not equal, and you can say that it is not differentiable or derivable at that point. At what point? 0. So that is what? At 0 only we are talking about it. Now one more thing, one other shortcut you could use is, but this shortcut can be applied only when a function is continuous. If you know that a function is continuous, then you can use this shortcut. So what is the shortcut is? Find out directly f dash of x. Okay. Now once you find out f dash of x, then you can find out what its value is at a minus and a plus If these two are equal, we can say that the function is differentiable or derivable at this point A. Otherwise, it is not differentiable or derivable at that point, right? So now for this example, what you could do is find out f dash of x. So what is f dash of x? If f of x equal to mod x, f dash of x is going to be mod x by x. This is f dash of x. Right, now we are talking about 0 at a point 0, so you are supposed to find out f dash of 0 minus f dash of 0 minus, right, and then f dash of 0 plus. Now what is f dash of 0 minus? The value of this function at a negative number, right? So whenever I give negative x, if x is negative, then output is going to be minus x, isn't it? Minus x by x is going to be minus 1. Are you getting this? So whenever I say f dash of 0 minus, it means that I am substituting a value which is less than 0, which means I am substituting a negative number here. Now whenever I substitute a negative number, then what will be the mod x value? So since inside number is negative, you have to multiply it with minus 1 when you remove it, because the total number has to be positive, right? So therefore when you multiply it with minus 1, this value is going to be minus x by x, which means here it is going to be minus 1. Now what about f dash of 0 plus? F dash of 0 plus means here you are going to substitute in place of x a positive number. So whenever you substitute a positive number, you can directly remove the mod without using any sign, right? Therefore it is going to be x by x, which means it is going to be 1, right? So these two are not equal. Here also you can say it this way. If you didn't understand what I told you here, you could also write it this way. See, since f dash of x equal to mod x by x, then you could write it as if it is f dash of x equal to, now what happens when x is less than 0 and what happens when x is greater than 0? You can write it like this and you can evaluate it. Now if x is less than 0, what happens? Since it is x is a negative number, isn't it? Now you have to multiply it with minus 1. If you remove this mod, then you have to multiply with minus 1, so that the entire number is going to be positive after you remove it, right? Then what happens? Minus x by x, which means minus 1 here. Now what about the other side? If you substitute x a positive number, if you are going to put x equal to some positive, then it is going to be directly x. Mod x is going to be x. So in that case it is going to be 1, right? So even by this you can even show that minus 1 and 1 are there, so not equal. So you can say that it is not differentiable. Got it? So this is an example of a function which is continuous but not differentiable. So why did it happen? Because of this corner point. You are talking about what happens at the corner point. Got it? And now which means the function falls here. There will be functions which are continuous which are not differentiable, but then you will not be able to find any function which is differentiable but not continuous, right? So remember this theory point. Okay, fine.
Hi, if you are planning to do masters, then doing masters abroad is better than doing masters in India. I'll give you all the reasons. So first reason is, out of 1 lakh students who take GATE every year, there are only 500 seats in old IITs. So all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%, and IITs, universities better than IITs, they have very good acceptance rate like 30%, 40%, but all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And if you are working hard to get into IIT Bombay's ranking is 177. And IIT Roorkee's ranking is 400. If you are happy to get into IIT Roorkee, then getting into universities better than IIT Roorkee is easier compared to getting into IIT Roorkee. And looking at the salaries for computer science, for software jobs, if you have done your masters in computer science in US, the salaries are ranging from 80 lakhs per year to 1.2 crore per year. So even if you take an average of 1 crore per year, your savings will be much higher than the salaries in India. After taxes and your cost of living, you can easily save 40 to 50 lakhs per year. And in India, the maximum jobs that you get is around 30 lakhs. So your savings will be much greater than the salaries in India. And these are all the services that we provide. University shortlisting. So depending on your profile, we will shortlist what are the universities that you have to apply. And statement of purpose building, and then LOR guidance, and GRE and English test assistance, and education loan assistance. So you don't have to have any collateral, which means without any security, now you can get education loan. Getting education loan is very simple these days, and whatever the amount of fee that you have a range of universities. You can apply for 10 lakh universities, 20 lakh universities, or 50 lakh universities. But whatever it is, you are going to get complete education loan, and you can pay off your education loan in 1 year after you get a job. And then we do visa assistance, mock visa interviews, and then connecting with the university alumni. So now you might ask why we should join Game of Visas. So the answer is we have 90% success rate, 99% success rate. And these are all the destinations that we guide the students to. So we guide students to any country that you want to go. So now it is not just USA. We guide to UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. So we guide students to all the countries. We work with all the destinations. And if you are interested in going abroad, you have to just drop us a message on this WhatsApp number 9494 555 454. Okay, thank you.